White to the white, to the white.
The radio station with more. You're listening to the radio station.
You're listening to
This now.
White to the white, to the white.
The radio station with more. You're listening to the radio station.
You're listening to
This is
Radio Biafra.
Biafra na my original. Onyibe na malugo. But to be a kwetego, see Biafra na we own.
Yes, once again, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, conscientious people wherever you are all over the world, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Radio Biafra London. Radio Biafra London is being anchored by the deputy leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. His name is Mazi Uchi Ukafomefo. He is from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. Mazi Uchi Ukafomefo is the man who have assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. Like I always say, I do not expect everyone to understand the mindset behind those words, but one day you shall. He is, of course, standing in a deputizing capacity on behalf of our supreme leader, Mazen Nande Okukano. He is the king of Afari Beku. He is the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television. He is the one and the only man that commands the loyalty of the Biafran people. He is the one and the only man who stood up to speak for the collective interest of the Biafran people for over 6 decades now. He is from Afari Beku. Afari Beku is in Umuahia. Umuahia is in Abia State. Abia State is Biafra land. And by the special grace of Chukwukika Abiyama, I remain George Onyibe. I come from Abo. Abo is in Delta State. And Delta State is Biafra land. Every piece of land in Delta State, everybody there, they are Biafrans. And of course, as always, we must proceed to acknowledge the Creator, Chukwukika Abiyama, the one who sits in heaven and presides over the affair of man. The one who has set our feet upon this path that we must follow. The one who does not have anything to drag with anybody. And when men challenge him, he look at them. Anyị na-aja gị mma o, n'eziokwu n'ịmara mma o, ịhụnanya dị gị obiọma gị, o juru anya dadi o, inwe gị mgbanwe o, ọ dịghị onye dịka gị, ịbụ Alfa na Omega, anyị niile na-asị na n'ịdị mma o. Ise. And so, as always on this segment, this very evening, our team remain back to your root. Back to your root. This is one thing all of us have been struggling over to embrace, to accept it. But believe me, we really don't have any choice. Somebody once told me that if we fail to honor our ancestors, very soon we will become our ancestors. And our children will not honor us. Our children will not remember us. Somebody once told me that we really don't die, because death is just the beginning. And come to think about it, I'm just one man. I come from the lions of another. Though he's still alive, he also comes from the lions of another, though he is dead. And then others come from my lions, and one day I will be no more. But let's remind ourselves about what we are saying here, so you'll be able to appreciate the need why you have to go back to your root. It is said biologically that when a man ejaculates into the woman ovum, 1 million cells target the sun. And out of this 1 million cells, depending on how fast those guys are, they are bound to be fertilized. And let's assume a single cell from me moves into a woman and form another baby. That cell is me. It's part of me. And that part of me came from part of my father. And that part of my father came from part of his father's father, and father, and father, and it will continue. This is who we are. We really don't die. We transformate. But having said that, we must embrace our root, because you are the same person, changing all over. And then when our ancestors talk about reincarnation, you don't understand it, so you doubt it. You don't understand it, so you say it is fetish. But of course, Chukwukika Abiyama will open our eyes, so that the same way you respect St. Peter, when you see Onyema George, you will respect him. Because Saint is Onyoma, St. Peter, St. Luke. You will see Onyoma in Biafra land, and you will respect them. Not because the names sound different, because Onyoma is Onyoma. But I won't digress further, so I do not confuse you. Our team remain back to our root. And our topic this evening on this segment is the purpose of our ancestral music. Music. I must start by appreciating our musicians, those who are singing for Biafrans, wherever you are all over the world. I must appreciate all of you. You kept that part of our culture and tradition alive. You are numerous. We are still looking for many of you. We've not been able to get in touch with you. And of course, you can always meet our sister, Ugochinyeri. You can always inbox our sister, Amaka Ekwe, and then one of our brother in London, in USA, The name escaped me, but I wish one day Ugo Chinyere will come and make this announcement so that all of you can be able to come to a particular platform where your work will be recognized forever. I truly appreciate all of you because you don't know the role your music is playing. You do not know, but one day you will know. And having said that, music did not start with IPOB. Music did not start in Nigeria. Music was here from the very first time man walked on this earth. If you read your Bible closely in Genesis, a particular family was said to that it was in their time men begin to worship God with instruments. But let me tell you, that was not when men begin to worship God. But rather the Bible acknowledged that it was in the days of that man that men begin to worship God with instruments. Music has always been there, part of our tradition. And if you don't know the role they play, that is why you will see a full-blood Biafra man will be jumping up and down. Oluwa is involved. Oluwa is involved. Because you don't know what is going on. The history of music dated even beyond the pyramids of Egypt. If we go back to what the Bible have to talk about music, first of all, you see, music had been there even before the era or period known as the pre-Adamic age. The time where Adam and Eve were not created. The Bible gave insight on those aspects, but it didn't make it so loud. You look at the book of Ezekiel and Isaiah, he talks about it. Lucifer himself was the highest decorated angel known in the Bible, known to man. Lucifer was created among precious stones. He was allowed to walk even in the midst of fire, which is the only attribute of God, because God is a consuming fire. But if you look at the book of Ezekiel, he said the workmanship, his workmanship, the instrument of his worship were part of his workmanship. Lucifer was a worshipper of God. Lucifer was a chorister. God so empowered him. That is how you begin to see how important music are in our day-to-day life. God created so many angels, assigned them to special duties and functions. But one of them he held in high esteem. This is a musician. Until iniquity was found in him, there was none like him. Until his righteousness was corrupted, he is the highest creature of God, aside the Son of God, according to the Bible. This great weapon of song have been neglected for a very long time by those who know how to activate its power and manipulate it, and also by those who have the knowledge of its power. Song is a weapon, and for a very long time it has been neglected by, first of all, those who know how to activate the power. Second of all, those who know the power but they choose to make sure that no other person knows the knowledge of this power. I want us to go back and begin to look at the role, the importance of music, the purpose of music in the days of our ancestors. Remember, we are going back to our root. Our fathers have many purposes why they use music. Music have so many roles to play, and some of which we are going to examine this evening. And then maybe you will understand why I come up every day and I start singing. I do not have intention to make you feel I'm religious. I'm not. I don't want to project myself as a holy man. I'm not. I do not want to show that I know God more than you. That is not true. But there are reasons why our ancestors sang. Most of you don't know. And so you don't know the value. On daily basis, music is dying down in our culture. After the war, most of you do not know that one of the most lucrative business for our people was to entertain through music. That is when people like Osadebe, Ebenezer, Oliver de Coco, Akwete, among others, so many of them, Not only that they made fortune, their work helped people to heal themselves. Their work helped people to heal themselves without knowing. When we talk about the success of the generation of Biafran between 1967 to 1970, I can assure you it is attached to the music all around them. I could remember as a child, there are music my father used to play. Then I don't understand the Igbo they are singing when it is Igbo music. But today I understand it clearly. I understand the role those music played in my father's life. As early as 4 a.m., he wakes up, or 5 a.m., he puts one of those music. Let me just bring them closer to you so that those who know that they know will understand where we are coming from in order to appreciate where we are going to. And one of those music was, let me try and remember them. I may not be able to sing all of them. O nwere onye nke ya zuru oke, ke ya mara mma, ke ya dim dim dim. I can't sing it. I don't even know what he's saying. But I knew this song as a child. And then there is another one. He will say, Chere mo, chere mado, chere mo, chere mado, chere mo now. I don't know what that song really say, but he used to play it. I know if I have access to them, I'll be able to understand what he say. But this music is so powerful that it makes one to become spiritually conscious. After listening to this music, he goes out there with a very powerful spiritual influence all around him, being able to do things without feeling pain, without feeling dejected, without feeling bad, without feeling depressed, because they have charged their soul already. But most of us don't know. And so on this segment, we are going to take time to look at the purpose of music. Why do people make music? What role is music supposed to play? What role is music playing? How does it affect our community? How was it used as a weapon by our ancestors to be able to reposition themselves spiritually, physically, and otherwise? And then when somebody asks you to sing, when somebody play a music for you, you begin to understand that these are not the things you toy with. Number one, music is a way of communicating with the spirit. Most of you do not know. Music, for instance, according to our ancestors, is a way of communicating with the spirit. You don't need to be spiritual, because 75% of what makes up a man is spirit. It's a spirit being. Your soul and your body are spirit. Your soul and your spirit are spirit. Only one part, that is the physical. And so when you sing, music was meant to communicate with the spirit. With the spirit, listening to the grammar, communicating with the spirit. You have a spirit. Your spirit is the real you that lives in this body. But attention is given to the body, and the spirit is down. Some people will say music is the food of the soul. For you to be able to communicate with the spirit, you need music. And of course, if you are a Christian, you understand your Bible well. When the Bible talks about the gift of the Holy Spirit, it talks about speaking in tongue and speaking with tongues. There is a difference between speaking in tongue and speaking with tongues. When you speak in tongue, you are speaking the language that people understand. When you speak with tongues, you are speaking a language that could only be heavenly. And so music is an instrument to communicate with your spirit. And that is why you see from all ages past, from generation to generation, when people so are humbled, when people so are oppressed, when people are in a very complicated situation, the first healing they get, it is song. This song helped them to wake up spiritually. You go to the slaves that were stolen from Biafra land and other part of Africa, down to Europe, to America, to wherever they took them to. One of the greatest weapons they have to remain healthy morally was music. And so you hear people saying, by the rivers of Babylon, there we lay down, and there we will, when we remember Zion. That moment, they were supposed to be crushed, but the power of music brought them back to life. And they will wail throughout the night. In the morning, they will be very strong to go back and face the next day job. That is why today you still have the slaves in America. But I tell you, no matter how Americans try to oppress this power of music, they can't take it away. Look at all the musicians in the world. You will see all of them are black people. All of them. All of them are black people. Of course, we can talk about Scatter Davis. We can talk about the rest of them. But there is no musician who has made impact to a level that is not achievable that are not black men. You can talk about Don Williams. You can talk about Jim Reeves. So many of them. But I tell you, there will be no like of them like Michael Jackson. You can talk about R. Kelly. You can talk about Bobby Brown. You can talk about Michael Jackson. Just check the history of the blacks. You will understand the weapon it can help you to overcome stress, communicating with your spirit. It is our spirit that actually gives us victory in everything we do. That is why whatever happens, we guide our spirit jealously. Which doorway is our heart? And the Bible says, guard thy heart with all diligence, for from it proceed the issue of life. Go and look at a musician, and then you see a man who have encountered and experienced life. Our ancestors knew this truth. And so that is why every opportunity they have, they sang song. They sang song. There are many purposes, but one of them is to be able to communicate with their spirit. Let me try to explain it to you, but I want you to embrace it. Sometimes when I come out, I want to sing in my dialect. But it's not just a sing. I'm communicating to myself. Sonem wo ihe chuku menimo eronimeo no woge jumobi wo no sokamo osolubwe meni mekelere na fansoya o. It empowers you from within. No garbage, no nonsense can stay inside you. As far as you are singing a song that is meant for the purpose that you are facing. Our fathers understand this. You see, for instance, there are children who are orphans in those days. In those days, you know orphan. There are a lot of orphans around us. You don't know they are orphan because they don't understand this pattern. How do you know orphan in those days? You know them by what they are doing. You see an orphan in those days, they want to suffer the orphan or the widow or anybody facing challenge. How you know them is through the song, including warrior. To know a warrior, they go to one side of the river or one side of the forest. I'm talking about our ancestors. They take a flute or jar and begin to blow it. The sound they blow tells you who is blowing it. Whether the person is mourning, whether the person is a kind of recuperating his spirit, you will know. Our ancestors didn't toy with it. You begin to hear flute. Somebody will be... They blow oja, flute. And when you hear that song, you will know a warrior is communicating. And then there are a lot I'm just trying to take time to sing this song for you. Maybe it's going to wake up something in you. And there is yet another. You say, me fulungolodan golodan ekpako, me fulungolodan golodan ekpako, one way na bia narimau, one way ne dia bia narimau. Ubua wayokun yenene mwaye, ubua wayokun yenene mwano, uku akwari mo. They just sing. And then another person passing by will listen closely. They will know this guy is being tortured. This daughter is being tortured. They know something is wrong. And now to bring this very number one explanation to an end, I remember our first protest in Port Harcourt, in IPOB. And we moved on, protesting peacefully as we have always been, demanding the release of our leader, Mazen Nandekano. I remember that very day around artillery in Port Harcourt. The Nigerian security apparatus descended on us, shooting live bullets direct on unarmed civilians, Biafrans of course. And every one of us were placed on our heels. We ran. But we got to a stage. Why are we running? Are we running so we will not come back tomorrow again? Are we running so they will hold our leader? No. And one brother there stood among us and he sang that song. How many Biafrans Buhari go kill? 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 He go kill us tire. He go kill us tire. He go kill us tire. How many Biafrans Buhari go kill? And everybody stood. Everybody turned back. And that is why you know that Nigerian army are gentlemen. You think they are not gentlemen? They are gentlemen. The reason you see them misbehaving is because they have not received counter arrangement. And they shall very soon. This month we came back, they gave us way. Or you want to know one student who call themselves care guys or other secret codes go through the kind of spiritual reformation they go through. When they sing that their generation song, go and ask Wolo Shoika. He knows what I'm talking about. So our ancestors had a purpose for music, one of which is to communicate with the spirit. I want you to underline that word, with. Because at that time when you sing, you edify yourself. As far as your spirit is charged, nothing can move you. Nothing, not even in the dream. Not even in the dream, not to talk of in the physical. And so our ancestors made use of this weapon. We look at the second reason, number two reason. Communicating in the spirit. One is with the spirit, another is in the spirit. Our ancestors use music to communicate with the spirit. You know, when I talk of native doctor now, you will say they are evil. It's okay. But I want you to assume they are not evil. The knowledge of who they are, it's bigger than you. But there are things they say. You won't understand it. We do it in the church. But if we do it according to our culture and tradition, it becomes evil. But that is not where I'm going this morning. Communicating, singing with the spirit, or in the spirit rather. If you have been to a native doctor, you know when they want to do oracle, they say certain things. Most of the things they say, they don't know. But they mean powerful words. At times I will come here and tell you, okay. It's a chanting. It's a spiritual chanting. Only those that know, they know. And I do not intend to explain it to you. I think there are some jingle here I have with me. If I can be able to get hold of one of them, I think I have one of them. Let me see. it's not very close to me, but I would have loved to play it. One of our brother used to make it. He will say there is a way he put it. He's talking, but with communicating, he's singing. He's singing. If I have access to the music before I round up, I will bring it. I will bring it up. Somebody will be talking, but he's making a melody. He's making a melody. It is the same way when you are in the church. You sing and sing and sing and sing, and the moment it gets hold of your spirit, you move to the next level. And that time you move to the next level, you don't even know what you are saying. There are many music in the market today that are the same way. Somebody will come inside the church and begin to say, Masandara Baba, Hosanna, 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 Hosanna to the Lord. Marebe Shokoria Baba Kasandaraba. Alanyangwana Kojeluengo. But it's a Igbo pattern, so it is holy. If I start to hammer singing song now, all of you are going to clap for me and say, oh, it's in spirit. Our father were doing it, but you just didn't know. They were speaking with tongue. They were speaking in tongue before our land was invaded. So don't think you get that crap from the church. You have failed to study them in the light of your ancestors, and then you begin to do it in a Igbo way. As I have given you one example, no, I joke is when okay. Somebody says, this is sinful. He's doing juju. Of course, I do juju for the avoidance of doubt. But as I say, I look very familiar to you. I'm very righteous man. But you have been in the spirit even before they came. They copied everything about you. They manipulated them. Position it to remove the power of all these things from you. The idea is, if you understand the purpose, the role music play in the life of our ancestors, you will know why they succeed more. You start singing with the spirit, it gives you boldness and courage to continue. Then you start singing in the spirit, it takes hold of you. It takes hold of you. Let's just hope that the Creator will be able to help me tonight open your eyes so that you see the truth. Number 3, music was a means of educating or education. Most of you don't know. Music was a means of educating people. Everything I learned as a child was almost all encoded in music. Once you can sing the song, you know your timetable. In those days, teacher will call you, yes, Judge Onyibe, sir, read 2 times 1 and 2 for us. Osetiana. That is when I will remember the song. 2 times 1 and 2, 2 times 2 and 4, 2 times 3, 14, 2 times 7, 19, 2 times 20, 20. Immediately teacher say, holy day. I go start afresh again. Because without the song, I don't know it. But with the song, I know all of them. So music was not just what it is you think that it is. It was a means of educating the people. It was a means of communication, enlightening the people about the situation and circumstance that surround you. Go and ask the generation of Biafra who were there in the war. They don't have to spell everything out. They have a way of communicating through music. Iwo muna nwane nje naga akpiri ego ifajo na relani ewo muna nwane nje naga nwana puto uzore nwane yao nwana puto uzore nwane yao. They have better means to communicate. They keep it in music. We continue to sing it to the end of time. And each time you talk about this song, you will feel what they felt. They communicated. Kaboranga bo sabo, kangwani luagao, kangwani luagao. Instead of me to be a saboteur, let me die in the battlefront. Go and ask Achuze. You will understand that there were need at that particular time not to discuss about it, but they sang with it. Today, do you know that when those Ekumeku warriors want to march against the British imperialists and other invaders, they used to sing a war song, chant a war song, they communicate to themselves and they march anybody down? Today, it has been reduced to a mere palm wine drink because you don't know the reason why your ancestors chant that song. It was a means of educating people. When you go back to your Bible and then you see Moses, when they saw the wonderful art of God, when he parted the river before them, Miriam could not express herself other than in worship. And so Miriam lifted up her voice and sang before the Creator. Onyibe kage Chimo Onyibe kage Netiti chinine Onyibe kage Idike ne marao na ọrụ nke dị ebube oge mgbe niile na ọrụ nke dị ebube oge niile. Music has a role to play. I'm just trying to create a platform for you to understand. So the next time you are coming, as Igbo man, he's singing Oluwawa, Oluwawa, Odi Pami, Odi Dududu. That is for them, it is not for us. Our fathers is not their father. Try and be sounding politically correct. Our father have done that before. This is where it landed us. And I will not be part of any nonsense political correctness. So they say you are a gentleman, you are a good man. What has good man done for us? All the good Biafran men. What has he done for us? All the good politically correct individual. What did he do for us? Can't you people understand? My father said when the world turned their back on you, you turn your back on the war. You are weak today is because you fail to do what you're supposed to do. You follow them in the same tone they are coming. They show you respect, and we must make them show us respect. Somebody goes to say, oh, why looking at music? How does it come to do with freedom fighting? It had to do with freedom fighting because without chanting during the protest, we will not be there. It is this song that gave us the morale. Our father knew this, even as a small pupil. In the primary school in those days, in our assembly, they teach us song. They teach us song to direct us about our plight as a people. Let me remind you. Oh my home, oh my home, oh my home.